Pelotero Pickle, episode 36. We've got an epic Dodgers Padres series. CC Sabathia won 7-inning baseball games. We got young studs in Major League Baseball. And how much would it take you to fight Jake Paul? Check it out. Pickle, episode 36. It is Monday, April 19th. What a week of sports. We had a lot going on. Chris, how are you doing today?
I'm going for close-ups today, guys. This is all we're doing. Hey! Just kidding.
Nice hair. You won the hair contest last week, according to Twitter.
Got a bun. Oh, yeah. Your hair was, your hair was pretty sloppy.
Look at it. I can bun it.
Your hair is normally way better than mine in a resting state.
I can bun it a little bit today.
I don't know what I'm going for, but at age, yeah, it's like ninja. But at age 37, that ain't it anymore, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so I just got distracted by people looking at my car that's been severely damaged by hail, and now I'm sad again.
I think you could just be a trendsetter, man. Drive a dimpled Tesla.
I don't know. I'm just sad about it. Let's get on the topic so we don't have to be distracted by that. Padres Dodgers, outstanding playoff atmosphere baseball in April. It's just really fun games, really competitive. Was it a 3-game set? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So first 2 games were really close. Padres pulled out at the end yesterday, so all 3 games hyper competitive, huge atmosphere. It sounded like a capacity crowd in San Diego. I don't know if that's because we're not used to hearing people in the stands, but it was really fun. What were your biggest takeaways from the series?
That Fernando Tatis was 1 for a billion with a homer. That was one. No, he just doesn't look like he's there yet where he needs to be. Let's put it that way.
He came back from that shoulder injury on Friday night, and he had a homer that game. He's made 7 errors already this year.
Yeah.
6 games, and I just saw something on Twitter. He made 3 in 58 last year. Jamie Merch had a comment on Facebook that said, "Mo money, mo errors."
Yeah, it's funny. I don't like as soon as guys get paid, everybody just tries to be like, "Oh, are you worth that much?" But it was funny when, you know how I knew it was a big series? I got 2 texts from people in New England that on Friday night that asked me if I was watching Padres Dodgers, and I said no, I'm watching the Challenge season 22 on Paramount Plus. And then they're like, "It's getting electric," and I was like, "Yeah, I guess I'll watch it." So I put it on reluctantly, and then I was kind of glad I did it. The game ended up going to extra innings. But the funny stuff was like when the Padres were coming up to bat in I think it was the 9th to tie it when Hosmer got the base hit. They had about $800 million coming up. Tatis, Machado, and then casually just slide in Jake Cronenworth, and then Eric Hosmer. That's $800 million of players. So that was cool. No, but it was a really fun series. I think both teams are very aware of the fact that they're both good, and that's going to determine who's going to win the NL West. And I think the Dodgers have just quietly, and maybe not quietly, loudly, won the division so many years in a row now that maybe San Diego's getting a little tired of it, and they're just put their foot on the gas a little bit.
Well, got a little chippy. We had the benches cleared. I just think, the Padres are like the little brother that's like, I've had enough of this. It's time to fight. I grew up a little bit. I'm stronger now. They're ready to go. They're ready to fight. And they've got crazy pitching staffs on both sides. I think lineup-wise, the Dodgers are probably a little more consistent top to bottom, but pretty good teams up and down. Defensively, they're just really good.
Yeah, I would say watching it, it looked like I think the Dodgers have more. And maybe it's not even just talent. It's just it looks like, I don't know.
They have Mookie.
Yeah, they know how to beat him. The catch he made to end the game was pretty silly how good it was. I think and Yeah, he had no business catching it if you go back and watch it. And then even just the wherewithal to make sure it stayed in his glove, put the bare hand over in the middle of a dive. That stuff's not easy to do. I think the diving plays in and of themselves are certainly not, they're not uncommon in the big leagues, but in that situation, and then casually covering it up, it was like slow motion. It probably was because I watched it in slow motion that it looked like slow motion, but it looked like slow motion in fast motion too.
The crazy thing about Mookie, and I don't know if this is just like a big league thing, it seems like he has so many opportunities to make outstanding plays. Like you go like a whole high school season and never have a diving play. This guy, is it just because we see the highlights more often or is he just that athletic that he's getting to positions that most guys get to? He's always making unbelievable plays.
I think it's a combination of both, but our coach in one of our coaches in Worcester, good old Ed Gallagher, used to say there are opportunities for greatness. You don't get them all that often, and you take advantage of them when you can. He obviously is a really good athlete and has the capability of doing things that probably most people can't, just based on first steps and his ability to move quick through the outfield. But I think he's just he's such a good athlete that he's going to end up getting himself in position to make more plays than most, and then he makes them. Like, that's the weird part, is he just makes all of them. Like, I feel like he never misses a really good play. And now,
he missed a catch down the right field line. He was playing right. It was a foul ball. It was slicing. He kind of ran over, then in, then kind of over and in again. He got kind of lost on the warning track.
Yeah.
He didn't make the play. It was like when Tom Brady doesn't complete a fourth quarter drive. It's like, wait, Mookie makes that play. Tom Brady throws a touchdown pass. It was weird.
Yeah.
He didn't catch the ball.
I think his percentage of conversion of great plays is higher than most. That's probably why he makes more. I think everybody gets opportunities, and we live in the highlight era, so we only see highlights. Nobody sits down and watches a baseball game anymore. Come
on. Let's get into a nuanced play. Did you see the Profar check swing against Kershaw?
Yeah.
I thought that was the most BS call ever, and I'm curious what your thoughts on it are. I felt like the ball was in the mitt before he swung. So how is it catcher's interference if he swung way too late for it to be interference? I was shocked that they went to replay and didn't make the ruling that I'm vouching for. It was just a weird play. I thought it was a terrible call.
I think I need a better look at it. I didn't really pay much attention to it because
Did you see the high speed from the side?
No, I didn't.
His bat was still back when the guy caught it. So he catches the ball and then he whacks the glove. Like his bat was not in the zone. Like it was still pointing here when he was caught, and then it was the deepest check swing.
Now I got it. I just saw the high speed.
You were watching the highlight there?
Yeah.
What's happening? I thought the Matrix glitched.
Yeah, no. I didn't realize the audio was on the Twitter video that I'm trying to watch.
It was on.
Yeah, and it was John Boy too. So that I don't know. It looked pretty innocent to me. I didn't.
You as a hitter that looked innocent. If that happened, if you're coaching against the Padres in that game, you're not freaking out as a manager?
No. I like hitters. I hate pitchers. So.
Yeah, but if you're coaching against that play, you're not raising fuss.
I don't think All right, so I'm gonna come at it from a different point of view. I faced Kershaw. First of all, yeah, you're right. I have faced Kershaw. I played the big league. Oh. So, he's weird to hit off of because he does that weird leg kick thing where he comes down and then goes forward. So I thought timing him up. Now, granted, if you see him a bunch, it's easier. Certainly, you get used to it. But he's weird to time. So, if you just get screwed up in your timing a little bit, especially in a situation where you're, trying to hit a ball deep, I would make the argument that he probably wasn't looking fastball there, and then got one.
Pretty safe bet.
Yeah, and so, I mean, I think a lot of people were trying to say he did it on purpose, and
well, that was definitely the implication.
Yeah.
When Kershaw was screaming at him.
It's still interference.
It was an absurdly deep check swing.
Yeah.
He got completely beat, and basically just threw his bat at the catcher's mitt.
Yeah. Well, he won anyway, so I don't think you get mad. I mean, I guess you can get mad at the other player.
So this is a strike 3. It would have been strike 3. So Kershaw had to go back out, throw an extra 7 or 8 pitches. Like that could be a big deal. That could be another inning pitched for him.
But you know what? It wasn't. They still pitched a shutout that night, right?
That was the night that Mookie made the catch. So was it shutout? It was 2-0. Yeah, I don't know how you fix the call, because if the catcher reaches out to the point, then that's obviously catcher's interference. But the catcher's within their whatever catcher's box, whatever proper depth is, like, does that become reviewable now? Is the catcher in the box? Is the catcher too far forward?
I think we should just have robots call the entire game.
Better yet, have them play the game. No humans. You don't have to pay them hundreds of millions of dollars. So just,
full robot. They just cost $100 million to make. That's it. Just go robots.
You just play it on paper.
Yeah.
Let the talking heads at ESPN decide who wins the game.
And then there would never be an upset. Perfect.
They couldn't complain about how the games are going too long, which brings us to our next topic. See that segue? That was nice. CC Sabathia, did you happen to watch a clip?
I did not. Was it linked in our
false.
Show? Okay.
Absolutely false. Definitely linked in the show notes.
I didn't know you did an audio. I didn't know it was an audio or video clip.
Now I could see you're on the Google Doc clicking on the link. So
we're in there now. Relax.
Do you want us to pause to give you an opportunity?
I don't want to watch it. I don't care.
All right. So Sabathia is basically like ranting about how the game is changing so much. Like, screw it. Let's go to 7 innings. Like,
yeah, I agree with him. If that's a rant that it's changing so much, might as well make a new sport.
The implications of a 7 versus a 9 are pretty massive. His arguments were, one of his biggest arguments was about time. It'd be a 2-hour game. He said if you went to Yankee Stadium for like a day game, like, you're basically there for the night. That's the only thing you're doing that day. If you had a 7 inning game, you're out of there at like 3:30, 4 o'clock. You could still go to dinner. And then his other big argument was about starting pitching becoming a bigger influence in the game, where, 2 times through the order will get you into the 5th or the 6th, as opposed to now that's, half the game, versus a 7 inning game where basically the middle relievers are going to get cut out. It's starters, setup guys, closers. I think it would be it's a very interesting thing. I got some heated text messages last week about our extra innings segment. People were mad.
I don't even remember what we said, so I'm glad.
We said we liked it. We said that the throw the runner on second base, it's like the purity of the game is gone. So
I
roll with it. From
an entertainment standpoint, put the runner on second. Game will get over quicker. Did you see it? The games are ending in 1 or 2 innings because, like, somebody's going to score, right? I was actually shocked when the Dodgers and Padres had to play 3 innings of extras because, I mean, I was like, wow, how's nobody scored yet? Again, what are the percentages of a run scoring on a leadoff double? Look at that and go, all right, so you're going to score 1 out of every 4 halves of an inning, probably 1 out of every 3. So it's going to go quicker. It's not baseball at some point. Like, at some point, it's like eyewash ball, or so the people that were mad. Yeah, like, I'm not condoning. And I guess that's the point you're trying to make with Sabathia. You're changing it so much, like, invent baseball part 2, like, or what can we call it? Some of the good
banana ball. Did you see the whole banana ball thing?
Yeah, I got asked to manage the whoever the other team is. Who are the party animals? Is that who they play against?
Yep.
I couldn't have done the cut sleeve shirts. I would have had to do too many bicep curls to get ready.
Well, the banana ball thing actually looks pretty fun, and it's just not baseball. I'm glad he called it banana ball.
That's the point. Major League Baseball. If you think about this, right? And I don't know if I've said this on another show. For like 100 years, right? Baseball stayed pretty much the same. Very few rule changes, maybe roster size, the DH, length of season, right? Very conspicuous. And there were very fewer rule changes proposed on a year-to-year basis. Like, so you were probably like, oh, we're going to do the DH after, 10 years. Somebody else goes, oh, let's, put in rosin bags, or I don't even know the order of operations. I'm sure rosin bags came before the DH. But in the last 20 years, or like last 10 anyway, I've heard 57,000 proposed rule changes because they just want to make more money. They think
You think it's more money though? Like
they think they're going to make more money because they're going to attract a younger audience. They think they're going to attract more people if they shorten the game and make it more entertaining. Because the attention span of a 2021er, I'm not going to use the terms millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Xs, or whatever. The attention span of people now is like, butterfly. I don't even know what that means. I was going to go with shutter speed. That's what I was looking for. I went with butterfly instead. Nobody wants, like, people can't sit down and watch a game and be patient because the rest of their life is in warp speed. So baseball no longer has enough cachet if it's just like your run-of-the-mill Tuesday 8-4 game where the pitcher looks like he's taking a nap between pitches, right? If it's game 63, and I'm just going to use some ridiculous pitcher like Jose Quintana, right? He's good, but he's like, nobody knows who he is if you don't watch baseball. Against, I don't know, Joe Musgrove, is he good? Is Joe Musgrove good?
To a no-hitter recently.
Yeah, so he's good. Okay, I didn't know that.
Glad we're doing a show as supposed experts in the game.
Nah, I knew somebody for the Padres threw a no-hitter. I didn't know it was Musgrove. You know what's awesome?
Like a hometown kid.
He played left field. Did you see my tweet to you? With pitching ninja?
About getting the guy sinker?
Yeah, I want Jake Cronenworth breakdown because he looked nasty. He struck Mookie out, and Mookie came back in. He was like, dude, that was nasty. But anyway, the game, there's been just so much change proposed that it's getting too far away. So I hate 7-inning games. I hated them in college. I hate them in minor league baseball. They're different. The dynamic of them is different. But
so the attention span thing for me, do you think the solution to that is changing the game or just actually teaching the game? Because I think if you teach the game better, you got a chance.
I just think we need to be a little bit more. The game is shifting too much toward what they think people want, or what the new generation wants, versus it's the same game. Like, it's the same game. Just play the game. And then, because obviously it's driven by dollars and cents. So all of it is about money. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's all about money at the end of the day. It's all about market share. And I mean, they have everything in the world going for them already. The antitrust stuff, all of it.
Which is being brought up recently.
Yeah.
I think we might need to jump into post show right now to talk about this market share thing.
Yeah. Go ahead. I like it.
So Champions League soccer, did you see this?
My favorite topic we've ever talked about on the show, by the way. This is my favorite. Good job, producer Patrick. For the first time in history, Patrick won't be mad at me because I said good job instead of thinking I was going to sell him out. So this is good. I'm happy about this. You're either frozen or I'm broken.
That was a tough time for the internet to cut out. You're actually dishing out compliments and we didn't hear any of it.
For the first time.
I just said, for the first time in the history of everything, I'm super excited to talk about this. Number one,
I added this topic. Patrick didn't. I had to explain it to him on the drive in.
All right, but I'm excited that producer Patrick put it there, so I'm complimenting him because it was in the Pelotero rundown. Not giving you any credit, Bobby. Patrick's getting all the credit because last time I said something, Patrick thought I was talking about him. He was mad at me for like a week. So good job, Patrick.
All right, so we were just talking about this whole 7-inning thing. The game is changing. So in the Champions League soccer, what's happening is it's the same exact thing that happens with youth baseball. And it's like, oh, Back to real time. Is it working? Can you hear me, Chris?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. So I'll start all that over again.
Okay.
So what we've got going on in the Champions League is effectively the dad whose kid didn't make the AU team, or no, that's not true. The best player, his dad says, "I'm better than everybody else. Let's make a elite league that's better than everybody else. We're going to cut out all the bad players. We're better than everybody else." There's so much drama going on because now the World Cup is now saying if any player goes to this new Super League, they're not going to be allowed to play in the World Cup, which is the most prestigious soccer event, football event. It's funny to me. It's like when AAU baseball in New England, they started making divisions. When we had AB athletic development, we had a ton of kids try out for teams. So we try to make 2 teams at each level. And we called one team A and their team B. And then parents freaked out that they're on the B team because they thought it was the worst team. It was like, no, it's just a different name. And they were like, it's the worst team. There's like a 0-win situation. But the AAU started making the super division. And at the highest level. I feel like the internet's not good again there, but did you get all that?
It was 2/3 of it.
What are your thoughts on this whole Champions League thing?
I'm gonna come in hot. I'm gonna
society?
come in hot here. I'm coming in hot. This is my favorite thing ever.
Because I like relegation. I think it's awesome.
All I'm gonna say is it's about damn time. Are you allowed to say damn on our show?
We'll find out.
All right. It's about time. First of all, the Super League has been necessary in Europe for a billion years. Literally, the difference between European socialist, nationalized, socialist mindset sports, and this is everything we've talked about. You and I have talked about this a ton. Relegation is good because it incentivizes teams to win. The problem is for years and years and years. Number one, FIFA and UEFA are 2 of the most corrupt organizations on the planet. And they're the ones complaining now that these teams decided to go and do their own Super League. If we look into the teams that are doing it in Italy, Inter, Milan, and Juventus, who are like the 3 ultimate teams in the history of Italian soccer, most followed, most sought after, most well respected. The teams from the other leagues, you're looking at like Arsenal, who is obviously one of the best teams in the world. Barcelona and Real, who are the 2 best teams in La Liga in Spain. And then you've got like Man U, Tottenham, and Chelsea. Like these teams are literally like the teams in the history of the sport, like globally, right? So why not present an opportunity for your athletes to play against the best competition? Because let me tell you something, when Juventus plays like Reggio Emilia in the Italian league on a Saturday or Sunday or whatever it is, like that game's not fun to watch. So like it's the equivalent of, that would be the equivalent of, I don't know, the Yankees playing against, Clemson. Like it's just not, it's not feasible. So like you're putting teams in uncomfortable situations instead of like, this would be like a full-time Champions League. The issue and the reason why I'm mad at UEFA, FIFA, all the people from the clubs and the national leagues, they're all mad that they're going to lose out money to this Super League. That's why they're putting the kibosh on it. Like, so to equate it and say, oh, this is like, I didn't make the elite team, so I want to go make my own elite team. No, they're just trying to put themselves in a position to make more money. Like by creating a more competitive season, regular season, full-time, year-round thing. Champions League is obviously based on like what happened the year before where you finished in the standings. So it's a way of doing that, but like, the teams that are the most high profile don't necessarily always get in because like maybe they had a bad year or whatever. So this gives an opportunity to watch, Ronaldo against Man U against all the time. Like just because you're playing in La Liga doesn't mean you shouldn't go play against the best teams in around the world. So that's my take. Like, I think it's the greatest thing ever. I think it's about time that these teams start thinking in a capitalist way. By the way, all these teams are losing money. Arsenal, who's one of the, from when I was a kid growing up in Europe, like, they're in financial trouble. Like, they are in financial trouble. They need this badly. Like, the reason why Europe is so against it is because they're just so used to what their normal is. But sports need to be capitalist business entities in Europe before, like, dude, it's so crazy. Like, the owners that own the teams, they don't own anything. They don't own the stadiums. They only own the player's player card. I'm telling you, somebody's telling me they're going to go buy a team in Italy. I'm like, what are you buying? The Cartelinos, and that's it? Like, so you don't own anything. Like, you barely even own your own merchandise. Let's go. I love it.
So who owns the stadium, who owns the merchandise, and who owns all that?
The comunes in Italy.
Where's
like,
that?
You own your own merchandise. Like, the town, the comune is like it's a town or city or municipality or whatever you want to call it. The merchandise, you do your own merchandise, but it's very foreign.
So who gets ticket sales?
It's a good question.
Is it like a split? It's probably a split.
Sure, yeah, but you don't do your own, like, concessions unless, like, any. It's weird, man. I'm telling you, it's just a very strange, and that's why this is happening, because these teams that are elite soccer teams in the history of the world decided to do a capitalist venture. All sports in Europe need this because they're all dying. They're all dying. Like, they've lived off these sponsorship models for years and years and years, and they've never generated their own revenue. They've never been for profit. And because of that, ultimately you compromise the integrity of the game, because now you can't get the best players. You can't pay them the most. Like, our sports system works here, guys. It works. If nothing else, like, from a capitalist standpoint, from a business economic standpoint, sports work here. They do not in Europe. They need this, man.
You're obviously way more versed in this than I am, having grown up there and understanding the dynamics. I did read that. What do you got on the teams in Germany? Because the Germany's do it's like a 50% plus one. So the teams in Germany are 50% owned by the fans plus one, so they have a majority, and none of those teams are voting to go in. Is that just basically you're going socialist play on that one?
The issue that Germany is having with it is a very, very simple one to solve. You can let Bayern Munich get in the league. And if you don't like it, don't watch the games, guys. Like, it's very, very simple. Like, the economy of all of this is very simple. Like, this is the same argument. If you want to complain about how much money Francisco Lindor makes, very easy answer to that. Don't turn the TV on when he's playing. Don't watch.
Don't buy his jersey. Don't buy tickets.
The paradigm is bewildering to me, that, like, people want to get upset at the fact that the thing that entertains them, that draws attention to, like, that's drawn it to, I mean, if I would get 50 million viewers at something, like, yeah, I deserve to get paid a lot of money for that. But that's the whole point. That's the point of what the world is. And, like, capitalism and economy and supply and demand, it's very, very straightforward. And I don't understand when people don't see it. It blows me away. Like, oh, you don't like it in Germany? Just don't watch. It's very simple. Oh, it's fans. And, like, I listened to the reporter, the guy, I don't know if you heard the interview, but I can't remember his name. Played for Manchester United for a lot of years. He's now a reporter with Sky Sports doing the Man U games. And he said, this is atrocious. This is terrible. Nobody cares about the fans. We have to have an independent regulatory body come in and do this. And that's right after he said, soccer afforded me the opportunity to make a lot of money. It afforded me the opportunity to invest in a lot of different new soccer teams and have a post-playing career on TV. So you're literally saying, thank you, soccer, for allowing you to make money. But now when the owners are going to go try to make money to pay their players, like, you got a problem with it? Like, come on, dude. Clean it up.
Sounds interesting. I might have to pay more attention to it, but I probably won't.
Yeah, they should do this for all sports. And by the way, think about this. Talking about national, like, Germany is a country, right? Like, Italy's a country, Spain's a country. I know we don't need a geography lesson. the United States is a country, but all our states are I would say our states are more the equivalent of like a country in Europe, right? So the continent of Europe, why not have a full European league that is a continental league? That just makes entirely too much sense, because now you raise the level of play all around, pique people's interest, and that's what the Champions League does in soccer. The problem is it's very scattered. Why not have all the best teams playing all the time? Because now you're going to get the best players playing all the time.
Is this the equivalent of just like creating Major League Baseball in Europe?
Yes.
All right, just quick note: you got to stop like moving your computer around.
I know. I'm too excited. I keep hitting the bottom of the. I'm actually right now. I'm holding. I don't know if you can see my hand going over. I'm holding my screen in case I need it again.
Okay.
Maybe the wiggle is excitement. Maybe that's what should be an emotion.
I think there's some good content in there that Patrick will be able to use. Next topic: young players are playing very well. Bo and Vlad with the Blue Jays. Acuna is just a monster. Is this one of the best crops of young players in like recent history? Like when was the last time there were this many good young players? We got Soto, some ballers.
Young players were never all allowed to get to the big leagues at the same time.
True.
So I mean, there were a lot of really talented guys, but the dynamic's different. You just push when you have a bunch of 20-somethings, then a bunch of 20-somethings are going to be good, right? Like yes, they're very good. I think Ronald Acuna is an absolute stallion. I think Juan Soto might be the best player on the planet, or the best hitter on the planet. Sorry, Mookie Betts the best player on the planet.
Are we still considering Trout to be young? He's not young anymore, is he?
He's like 12. Yeah, he's still young.
28, 29?
If you're not 30, I think you're still young.
But then you got like Soto, who's
11.
He's literally 20 years old, I think. 21, 22. He's young. But he's been in the league for like 3 or 4 years. Very successfully in the league. There's some guy, I think, on the Brewers who was 17 in spring training, just in a big league game in spring training. That's wild. Can you imagine being in the big leagues at 17? Playing against Major League
I didn't
competition?
even get my license till I was 17, so no.
Yeah, but he probably
That's
might
made a
not have his
big
driver's
deal.
license. Learning how to drive a car versus facing some guy like the Indians closer with those 102-mile-an-hour cutters. Like that's I think that's harder
No,
than
no, no.
driving.
Time out. So I sent this text. I need to hear your opinion on this because it's kind of in line. So think about this. If you're 18, you can vote for the leader of the free world. You can operate heavy machinery, meaning like you can drive either a motorcycle or a car as long as you get your license. But in college baseball, they won't let you call a pitch by yourself without a wristband on, like telling like with numbers on it. Can you think like is that weird to you at all?
So I don't like when the players have the bands on their belt. I don't like that. I don't like when pitchers are wearing the wristband. I think that looks really bad. But I understand why they do it. It's basically like unstealable signs. That's basically it's just the signs are unstealable when you do that. So
Dude,
I get why they do it. I just think it looks terrible.
Pitchers
Don't that in the ACC? Don't they wear earpieces to call signs?
Yes. So
Catchers? That's crazy to me.
I think no. Wait a minute. They're allowed to wear them, but then when they get to the tournament, they're not. So some teams are like, "Oh, why we can't use it during the regular season because it won't be the same at the end of the year." Well, you might not be playing at the end of the year if you don't get there sooner. I have no problem with the catcher wearing an earpiece. I have no problem with anything, except wearing Tom Brady's playbook on your wrist while you're pitching is weird. Like, period. There used to be a rule that pitchers couldn't wear wristbands because, like, they were a distraction to the hitter. Now we're letting them carry a 7-page playbook out there. Like, what are we doing, dude? Like, you can tell the hitter what's coming. Just tell them what's coming. It doesn't matter.
You couldn't use a 2-color glove. And now you got a full wristband with a book of Algebra 2 on your wrist.
Tell them what's coming. It doesn't matter. Gosh, I hate everybody. I'm over it. We can't watch it anymore.
All fair. We got Alex Verdugo become a key piece of the Red Sox lineup.
Did you just call him Vertigo?
Yeah, Verdugo.
I like that. That was good. If you did that on purpose, that was funny.
No, that was just Verdugo. Verdugo had a really cool clip on social media talking to players. He was in the dugout, just giving his whole vibe on how he hits. Did you get to see that clip?
That was the one that wasn't linked.
Correct.
I knew one of them wasn't linked.
Yeah.
See, I wasn't lying. I actually looked at the notes.
It was a cool clip. He was just walking through his approach. The general consensus on Twitter was like, how cool is it for a major league player to give up that kind of time in a stadium? Like, I feel like so many players they keep that type of
Right to
stuff.
the vest. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to disclose their approach. It's like their secret, their secret sauce. So they don't want to give it away. But it was a really cool clip. He came off as like really genuine.
I would really like to see it.
Player.
If I could see it, that would be great.
Just go on the Twitter machine and look up
So
Verdugo.
no, I think it's awesome, and I've heard nothing but good things about him as a kid, as a person, and he can obviously hit a little bit, which is good too. And I think he used a big part of the field. He's got pretty good actions. He's very slow, methodical, under control, so on and so forth. To that point, I think it's awesome that he is speaking about it. I was talking to somebody yesterday about this same type of stuff. Like, why do people feel so compelled to keep their information to themselves and not share it with the world, share it with the game, share it amongst, I don't know, other hitters? Because maybe it could help us get back to a place where, people would recognize talking about hitting is so important, and really learning about the nuances and the little things that are going to ultimately allow hitters to be the best version of themselves and really deal with all kinds of different situations that get thrown at them on different occasions.
Yeah. Going back, so I'll circle back right now to growing the game. I think this is how you grow the game. The impact a major league player can have by doing something like this, the kid, whoever he's talking to, is going to be an Alex Verdugo fan for life. I know players that I have a connection to, I will definitely be more inclined to watch those players. If you have an interaction with a fan on Twitter that's positive, that kid, you're going to want to watch that player. It's the players need to drive that growth, and organizations need to support it. I don't there's a huge disconnect between the players and the ownership, I think, right now. And I think the collective bargaining agreement could be very interesting. But this goes back to what Trevor Bauer does, where he's doing such a good job with marketing and connecting with fans. And you may or may not like him, but he's doing a great job at presenting himself to the world. And not a lot of players are doing it.
Well, I think self-promotion is like a really difficult thing for some people. I think it's becoming significantly easier.
You think what Verdugo was doing was self-promotion?
No. I'm referencing Bauer. I think the Verdugo clip in question was him walking through the tunnel we're talking about, right? And he was just talking
in the dugout, just kind of chatting with a fan. Yeah.
I think I think that stuff is very organic, just meant to happen, right? Just technology's brought us to a weird place, right? Like a place where I think nobody probably could have ever predicted, and the abilities that we have to share and consume information that we get from, wherever we get. So you have to be really careful of how you pick your sources, I guess, of what you're trying to see. But I certainly think there's a little bit of fear for most players of getting out there and getting put out there, because you're going to face some sort of backlash in some capacity. Like there's, the worst part about being popular or famous is that somebody hates you no matter what. Like somebody's going to talk smack. Somebody's going to, going to bury you. And you could be saying like you're feeding, a bunch of orphan children, and somebody will find a way to spin it to make it bad. So you have to have thick skin to be able to start doing stuff like this for yourself and putting it out there. The league itself, I think, has always shied away from promoting their players, other than the really, really, really high end guys, because they've tried to manage salaries. I don't know that I know the perfect formula, but I think, any type of discussions, like the game needs the discussion piece. You said it. I mean, people need to start talking about it. And I don't know what that looks like, though. I don't have an opinion there.
Yeah. I just think the more players can connect with fans directly, and the opportunity to do that is greater than ever. So it's a balance. Post show, last question of the day. How much money would you need to box Jake Paul?
Whatever.
Would you get in the ring with him for $500,000 to fake getting hit in the head and get a payday?
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty sure that that was like all set up, right?
The guy was like laughing after the match, like celebrating with family. So yeah, seems like it was a Jose Canseco situation.
Yeah. I mean, I heard it was like a spectacle. I was thinking about how ridiculous the fact that we have some kid who him and his brother have earned or gained, I can't even say earned, gained a following socially through.
I'm going to say earned, because tell you what, there's a lot of people on YouTube that don't have the following.
No, I know. But and the reason I don't like the word earned is because it's so much more acceptable to do something that's not necessarily like PC or approved, or like if we did some of the stuff growing up that Jake and Logan Paul do when they were 18, like you were either catching a backhand or, getting punished, suspended from school, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Right. And so some of the things they're doing are not quite setting the best example. Like we were taught to set an example for people and, be good, upstanding humans. Like when Logan Paul and Jake Paul egg a house or toilet paper a house or whatever it is, it's just some example, right? Like it's a little ridiculous. So like, that's why I don't say earn the following. Now that being said, to your point, kudos to them for garnering attention, doing what they want to do and making money because of it. But I have a problem with the fact that he's like at best, like I don't know, like over mediocre, just above par boxer. Is that fair? Like,
I have no idea.
Exactly. But like guys like Canelo Alvarez, guys like, Triple G, Floyd Mayweather, they worked their whole lives to be the best boxers in the world, best boxers on the planet, and made, scratch and clawed to make a lot of money doing it. Now this guy's making however much money he's making for his pay-per-views, where like Justin Bieber and Snoop Dogg are hanging out on a stage above the ring, and it's a spectacle. Like this is what it is. And like, let's not mistake it for actual sport or competition.
So, but is that what Major League Baseball is up against when we say
Correct.
Kids have a low attention span and all that?
100%. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. So the whole thing comes full circle. But that's why at some point you have to decipher between entertainment and sport. And I think they can be one and the same. Certainly, like the World Series tends to get entertaining. Dodgers Padres got really entertaining. But I think you have to remember and distinguish between both and why they are what they are.
So as much as anything, I think it's proof for building an audience. So Jake Paul's got a massive audience. If he's doing something, there's a lot of people that are paying attention. So like what you were saying earlier about, you got 50 million people watching you, you deserve to make a lot of money. Guess what? Jake Paul's got millions of eyeballs on him.
What does it take to build an audience, do you think? Do you think you have to be different?
That kind of audience?
Yeah. I mean,
I think a big part of what they did was they were early, and they were like, my understanding of YouTube is once you get to like 100,000 followers, it just snowballs. Like it really will take off from there. But they have to do things that are entertaining and engaging. And pushing boundaries, and I
Yeah,
think
I feel like, but I feel like
to
pushing boundaries nowadays, pushing boundaries nowadays is doing all the things that we grew up being told not to do. Like you have to be like a little bit of a rebel, and
So
I don't know.
there's a guy on YouTube. He's one of the highest earners on YouTube. His account is Mr. Beast, and him and his friends. I think I read an article about this. They like dropped out of school and they just figured out how to make viral videos. They just figured it out, and they just make viral videos all the time. And he makes like $3 million a month on YouTube.
Are the videos good? Like, what are they?
They're like, it's all about the featured image. It's all about the type of content that it is, the headline. I mean, this is just like modern day marketing. It's
How do you get people? How do you get somebody's attention on the internet? Yeah.
But it's they do a bunch of challenges where it's like, oh, we're going to give away $1 million to whoever does this last, and they just feed the beast. They just keep churning out videos.
That's nice. Well played.
I didn't even mean to do that.
Yeah, you did it though.
But it's the difference is anybody with an iPhone can produce videos and tap into an audience. Like how many views? I don't know how the point system works where it's like, oh, the World Series had this many points or whatever for the viewership. Like these guys are putting up significant numbers on YouTube. Like how many millions of views did the Friends episodes get? Are they churning out that much viewership? I don't know the answer to that, but it's pretty wild to think about. And then you like compare that to a Tuesday night baseball game. You're competing against Mr. Beast and Jake Paul.
But it's just much easier to consume stuff now. I mean, you can consume it on your own time. Like that's the difference. Like you had to watch regularly scheduled programming. Like, dude, talk about the difference between, hey, it's 7:00 on a Tuesday. Like you have to watch at 7:00 on a Tuesday, as opposed to, no, you have all week. And oh, by the way, you have one day of the week. You can watch this whole series if you really want. Like how many people are binge watching shows? Like, dude, people can't wait a week to watch a show. Literally, I true story. Like the Challenge on MTV, the Challenge did they're doing a thing on Paramount Plus, and I was upset when they didn't put the whole series out at once. They're doing it like a regularly scheduled TV show, so I was pissed. I told my wife, I was like, "Why? What is this? I have to wait till next week. This is stupid."
Can't binge watch the whole series.
Idiots.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But even something like YouTube has become a massive. Like I at one point I thought I read that YouTube was a bigger search engine than Google, because people like, oh, how do I fix my sink? They'll just go on YouTube and look it up.
Yeah.
It's wild. So, how much would it take for me to fight Jake Paul? Not that much. Wouldn't take much. I'd fight him for money. Just fall down and
just put not that much in your contract.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, is it real? Is like, do I get to work out? Do I have to take it seriously? Do I only get money if I win? Those are.
I mean, Askren definitely didn't work out. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, but he's been a fighter in the past.
Yeah, but he looked like a wet newspaper in the ring from what I saw. Like this guy used to be in shape.
Didn't he just take one punch and just the fight's over? It's like an overhand right in the first round.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I saw the clip of the knockout, but I didn't see the progression leading up to that moment.
I think that was like the beginning of the fight. It was like very, very quick.
A minute, maybe.
Yeah. I saw a ringside clip where the punch looked like it hit him pretty good. The only thing that makes me think it was real was like when he got punched, like his feet like came together. He like like stood up in the dead fish. Like
this guy's gotten punched in the face. Like
I saw a video from an MMA fight where he's just getting like just hammer fisted on the ground.
I mean, he's gotten punched in the face a lot. He's got knees to the face.
The scariest.
Yeah, he just got like ate a lot of punches. So, all right. Well, I think that wraps up this week's episode. Good job, technology. Really crushed it this week.
Texasology?
No, technology.
Right.
All right. That is episode 36. Woo! Pickle out. That's your line. Your line. Your line.
Pickle out!